Hi, everyone. Welcome back to AIVA Live in session. I'm Lauren Angeloni. I'm the Managing Director of the Academy of Interactive and Visual Arts. And as always, I'm here to give our community a look behind the scenes at our amazing jurors who put so much time and care in reviewing all of your entries each year. Today's guest is David O'Connell. He is a veteran juror, which we very much appreciate. He is the founder and the creative director of Bang Creative, which is an award-winning brand design studio. And he counts among his clients Fortune 500 companies, some really amazing institutions, and small businesses alike. Welcome, David. We're so happy to have you here.
Oh, hello.
There he is.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Hey, no problem. Excited.
So we always start this the same way, just by way of introduction to you and kind of what you bring to the jury. Can you tell us a little bit about your career journey so far?
Oh, it started many, many moons ago. I
feel
got
that.
in at I think a really interesting time in this whole industry because it was shifting from very tactile way of doing things to digital. And so I got to see everything from the birth of where computers really started to become a thing and websites, really sort of took over, and then that shifted to social media and the technology has just been absolutely mind-blowing from where we were and what we can do with that today. But one of the things that I like to say is it's not the brand of the wand, but the magic of the wizard. So whether it's that old technology or the new, we still have to do the same thing that we've always done. That's that, core strategy behind everything, the process. But yeah, I've had an amazing short career, but long career, like long enough. Started way back working for corporations and pharmaceutical companies and other multinational organizations, and cut my teeth on rebranding a big company from the ground up, and then started as multimedia coordinator, worked my way up to creative director, and then started Bang Creative in 2005. So yeah.
Wow. And here we are.
Here we are.
I like your wizard and wand reference, and it's a good segue into my next question. Because with so many years of experience, you've definitely seen a lot of transformation in the industry, as you just alluded to. So to the wand of it, is there a certain design tool or platform that you really miss working with?
I would say I think there's stuff that we miss working with because we're always so quick to jump into Illustrator or into those programs, but I miss the pencil, right? Starting with a sketch, like we still try and do that, whether it's just sketching out a quick sort of storyboard of how something's going to flow before we even launch Figma to start sketching out what things are going to be, because it's I'm just have done it. I'm just faster with it, but we eventually have to move everything in. But yeah, I miss the sort of the old photo shoots that we used to do, of the big lights in studio, all that setup. There was a craft behind everything, and sort of the sitting in there and making sure that things worked, and set dressings and stuff like that when you're art directing a photo shoot. So there's little things like that I do miss. We still get to do them once in a while, but now it's like, oh, we need corporate headshots. Okay, you're almost editing, on the camera, with your photographer, like on location, right? Like snap, right? So
I think we talked about this a little bit. I miss a lot of the pre-pro work.
Yeah,
it feels like so much can be done and fixed now, like live and in real time, that some of that like planning and excitement buildup is missing a little bit these days. I'm also a very big pen to paper girl. I make lists, I doodle, I can't remember things unless I actually write them down. So I very much agree with your choice.
All over my desk. There's Post-it notes. We have these little pads that we use all the time. So I've a little disorganized. That's my little weird way that my mind works, but it's perfectly organized in my world,
Same.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
very much the
but yeah,
same.
it's right. Like it's that pre-process that we used to do, whereas now it's like snap the picture and we'll fix it in Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Where we used to spend the time to make sure the picture is going to look good before it, before it goes, and compose what we want in that picture, because we know where the masthead's going to go, we know where the copy's going to go, and it is a little sketch prior to going. And I think one of the things we when I started in it, we got to, I worked with a lot of the guys who, you watch like an episode of Mad Men and they're doing the pitch and they're holding up the sheath. I could work with some of those guys. They were my mentors, right?
Yeah.
And then we were transitioning to this. Now everything's just done on the computer, so that that craft is sort of disappeared. But I like to capture it wherever we can, right?
Yeah, all those storyboard artists and animatics creators. They're
animatics.
I guess maybe now they're going to courtrooms. Now they're courtroom sketch artists.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems to be hanging on as an art form.
You're
gonna laugh at me for this. I'm very enchanted because I'm seeing snow outside of my windows of my apartment right now. And I don't think I mentioned to the crew here that you are a neighbor to the north, that you're right outside of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably not even call this snow, but it's the first one I've seen this season. I'm excited.
Snow is magical. We got a dumping of snow yesterday.
I bet. Yeah, it seems like
what is it? An inch and a half, I guess.
Oh,
but
pretty good. Yeah, this is definitely not meaningful.
Not an hour from here, we get like 140 centimeters. So
wow.
that's quite a bit. I'm not going to do the metric conversion.
I feel like last season we barely got anything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I love it. It's enchanting right now. So if you see me looking off to the side, that's what I'm doing.
Snow is magical.
Yeah. Until it's not.
Yeah, well, you just don't want to shovel it.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so sorry to derail.
Sorry.
Back to you. So I know that you've worked, as I kind of mentioned in your intro, with Fortune 500 companies. You talked about the big rebrand you did, pharmaceutical companies, small businesses. I know that you have done some projects for your town. So I'm just wondering if there's like a particular project that's stood out as especially meaningful to you in all of those.
Yes, there have been many projects, and I think they all stand out in different ways. So I think probably the better answer to this is that any project where we get a chance to sort of rebrand a company. So we are repositioning it, whether it's because two companies are now merging into one, and we go through that process of trying to figure out like, okay, who are they going to be now, right? What are they going to become, right? We always ask the three questions like, who are you, what do you do, and why should your clients care? And we need to answer those three questions. And whether it is a Fortune 500 company or a small B2B shop or a mom and pop shop, like it's the process is the same. Where we take you through is just however long we get to spend on each stage of that process can vary depending on the size of the company or the size of the budget, really. But I think of all the most memorable projects, and they have to be the ones where we've rebranded and repositioned a company, right? Whether it's because it's a brand new company, a company that's going through a merger and they're becoming something new, or a company that's just looking to celebrate a milestone and they've got something coming up, like 10-year, 15-year, 20-year. Like that's when companies kind of like, hey, it's time to sort of reposition ourselves and match ourselves. A lot of people look at it like, oh, just redraw the logo. Just like, that's not what it is. The logo is not your brand. I'm sure you've heard it all before. It's very much repositioning your whole corporate identity and trying to find out what it is and what you mean to your clients, right? Engineers great to, hey, there's a 0.27 micron variance between this, which allows for the flow of that. And this, and hey, that's wonderful, but that, that doesn't speak to the brand, right?
Right.
So,
And what the central values are and the
yeah,
mission.
but I
You
think,
just, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you just touched on something kind of interesting about like some commonalities with no matter what size organization or group that you're working with. My question is, if whether a small business or a large corporation, like what's your approach? What's your first step? Is it different amongst those groups, or is it pretty much the same starting point?
I think I would say the form is the same, right? If we can imagine a form, it's not a form, but if we can imagine a form, like all the questions, we always ask like the same question. We'll do a little research with any company that we're sort of onboarding, and we'll go, okay, like, is it a match? Like, are they, somebody that we do want to work with, and, and what we bring to the table is going to be worth for them? Because sometimes we've actually sat with a company, we start going through that process, and they're sitting there going, I need this. And we realize, actually, you don't. What you think you need to change, say a website, we need to redo our website. It's like, no, you don't. Your website's not converting because you're not sending it to anybody. You're not informing anybody about bringing them into your website. So actually, the focus needs to be here. And so let's develop a campaign that actually drives people to your website and tells people what you're doing, and roll that out. And like, let's have a little event or something. Let's inform, your current clients that, hey, we have a website. And that's where I think, some people that really benefit from the process, right? So yeah, if it's, like, it doesn't matter how big the budget is or how big your shop is, right? Because it's that process of discovering, what you do, who you are, and then we develop out what that program is and what your design is and what your look and feel is going to be, and then we enlighten people on who you are, where you are, how to get in touch, what products you bring to the table. So I just did our three sort of discover, develop, enlighten sort of segue there, but that's how we present ourselves, right? But it's the same process, right? Whether so the only time we sort of change it is maybe based on the product, or whether it's a brick and mortar that wants to go online, or somebody who's selling specifically a service. There might be some changes that will customize in there, but the process is the same. What we end up at the end of the process is really what the bespoke solution that we develop is.
Nice. That makes sense.
Like a tailor putting a suit together.
Yeah.
You still got to measure you, right? But then you
Yeah.
have to put, the cut of the suit and the fabric of the suit and everything. So it's always a bespoke suit at the end, but still gotta start somewhere with a measuring tape, right?
Yep. A suit's a suit. So we have a pretty good sense of your work process now. I wonder what you do outside of work to make sure that you remain recharged and creatively inspired. What's your out of work world like?
I don't know. I'm kept in a box because my partner in life and business, my wife, keeps me in a box. So I just keep on working. I don't have an out of work. No. What is that out of work thing? What's with downtime? What? No. We have 3 kids, and we're always out, doing something with them. They each have their own sort of little bits that they like to do. I'm very much into history and film and stuff like that. So, we're always looking at, big movie buffs at the house, right? So we're always gonna have a movie on, or, a show that we're watching, read a lot. I like to say I read a lot. I do read a lot, but I don't read as much as I'd like to. Right.
Same.
I try to read every day, but it's, that I wish I could spend 3 hours just reading, but it's not as often. but getting out and, going camping and, hanging out with friends and, sitting, relaxing at the pub. Like these are the things we do. We enjoy in our backyard, fire in the backyard, kind of thing. That's
Nice.
that's what we do, to sort of sit back, recharge, and get ready to roll.
And 3 kids, you have built-in snow shovelers soon.
Ha! That's funny. Yeah.
Not so much.
No, it's more play in the snow whilst you try and shovel, because you finish, like yesterday, we finished shoveling the driveway, and then before we knew it, a snowball fight broke out, and we needed to shovel the driveway again.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Nice. So it sounds like you're kind of mixed between like outdoorsy and indoorsy. But yeah, same about reading. I love reading. I always have. I just can't make the time to the extent that I'd like to. So very much simpatico on that front. So you've been, as I mentioned in your intro as well, you've been a juror for quite some time, which we super appreciate. And I hope that this year you're going to be on the jury again. And I will say that we've expanded a bunch of categories on brand ID and brand books, which I love to see those entries. I love flipping through a good brand ID book in a style guide. So assuming that you are going to be a juror this year, do you have any tips or advice for people who maybe haven't ever submitted before, or even if they have, just to, best package their work for the jury?
Yeah, I think, well, first, it's been an honor to be the juror, and seeing all the work that has come out over the years, and the change in styles and different things that have really sort of themes that have been created, and you can see different places that I love those sort of before and afters, like, oh, this is what, where it was before, and this is where we took it. Those are always great. I love some of the packaging that we've seen lately. There's really there. It's been nice because we've seen people going back to that tactile packaged environment, and making an effort to be something more than just a sheet of paper and a website or something digital. That's not, there's personality coming back, and that's what I like to see. In terms of entering your work, I think the biggest thing to have is sort of a description of, not necessarily, we don't need the whole brief, because there's a lot to review, so we don't have the opportunity to sit there and just read briefs all day and then look at the work. But having a really nice abstract of, like, this was the problem, this was the solution, and here were the results, is really important, because what may look like when some people present stuff, it may not look, as beautiful as the next piece, but if we go back to it, the piece that wasn't, as nice or as whiz-bangy with things flying in all over the place, it actually achieved the goal that it was supposed to do. And I think that's more important than something that's just really fancy and is using the latest, trend, and to make something like look really cool. It's like a TikTok trend, right? Okay, that's great, but we're not all influencers. Likes and don't actually sell products, right? But if you have something that's there, and it's, this was our goal, and we wanted to make sure that we got this information out to our client, and that helped by increasing, this dynamic or this sales figure or whatever it is, that to me is really, really important, rather than just having a really cool looking, a brochure, right? Like, did we achieve the objective that we're out for, right? Because if who said it? If it's a design that doesn't sell, it's just art, right? I think that might be an old Ogilvy quote, right? But yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we do. Like, we provide the solution of creating that something that's going to look right and look well and actually achieve what it's supposed to do. There's a lot of websites out there and a lot of pieces have come across on my desk that look amazing, but they tell me nothing, right? About what the product is or what the service is or what the company's about. It's just, don't look good just to look good. You have to have substance to yourself. You have to have a personality. And that's really what branding is all about.
That's a really good one. And this is not the first time that this answer has come up. I ask this on every one of these streams, and I think we're on number 26 now. And this is a very common theme. And it's interesting because a lot of times we hear from prospective entrants and they kind of ask the question like, do I have to enter a case study for this? Do I have to enter like something aside from the work? And of course the answer is no, you don't have to. But it keeps coming up that like it really does help. The context is really important. Even on some what might seem more obvious media types, like podcasts, for example, is a big media type across all of our awards. I mean, what you have to understand is that medium, the jurors have to listen to 70 podcasts and they are long. So just giving them a podcast and expecting that they are going to be able to take the whole thing in the way that you'd like them to, it's a real challenge in this environment. We have jurors that are talented and busy because like successful jurors are what we want. But then their time is at a premium. So I think that's a really good point to distill and synthesize all of your good work into at least some sort of overview to help contextualize. That's a really good answer. And I do hope that you are on it this year. I've already seen some pretty amazing packaging work come in. So I think you're in for a treat.
Cool. Can't wait.
So I'm hoping also to kind of let people get to know you as a juror that you'll allow me to play a game where it kind of puts your evaluative skills to the test. Since you're evaluating work every day, it'll just give people a little sense of how your mind works in a rapid fire situation. Are you game?
Always. I'm up for anything.
Amazing. Before we jump into it, because we're on a little bit of a delay, I just want to invite anyone watching who has a question to enter that in the comments. I just want to make sure to solicit them now so we don't miss out later. And hopefully David will answer them after the fact if we can't get to them all. We almost never do. So we'll ask away. We will get you an answer somehow, whether it's live or not. Ready to play?
Ready.
Okay. First case. Where's the case?
First case?
Yeah, usually the this versus that pops up. Maybe my team will slack it to me since it's not. Oh, there it is. Insomniac versus morning person.
Insomniac.
Absolutely 100% the same. Party of 2 versus party of 10.
I like the party of 2, but I think it depends on what we're doing. But like party of 2 is always a nice, quite intimate, evening. But I'm such a social butterfly too, so that one's difficult.
Yeah, but I agree. Like dinners with too many people, I can't do it. All right, number 3, historic versus modern.
Historic, because I love the old history and the stories of where something was and what once was. Yeah, historic.
Yes, mostly the same. In office versus remote.
In office, because I love being collaborative.
Chaotic good versus lawful evil.
Chaotic good. I gotta go for the good guys, but like, yeah, chaotic good. It's like Batman versus Superman, right? So
yeah, exactly. Lawful evil, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the worst kind. Tattoos versus unmarked.
I'm unmarked, but I like tattoos. So yeah, I'd have to go unmarked, I guess.
All right. Lush gardens versus concrete jungle.
I like the city. I like the concrete jungle.
Yeah, especially if I'm responsible for it without a green thumb at all.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
I think every day, but I love going out to, like, we love camping, so we're always off camping. So
That's where we diverge.
yeah.
I'm not that outdoorsy. Opera versus punk.
Punk.
Same. Movie theater versus on your couch. This is topical.
Yeah. Oh. Movie theater, if it's a big blockbuster, got to do the movie theater. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, is that it? That was the last one. We almost never make it through these. You were so efficient.
I try to be.
Clearly, you're good at decision making. You're good at evaluation. That was impressive. So let me see if we have any audience questions. I'm sure we do. Oh, we actually have a bunch. I hadn't looked over at the comments yet. The first one is, thinking back, has there ever been a piece of feedback, good or bad, that really stuck with you?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm trying to think of what the answer would be for me. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. I think, because we're always trying to improve and get better. I think every piece of feedback we try and stick with us. But I think, I think it's, I don't know how to answer this question. It's a good one.
You're welcome to do an after the fact answer to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've learned a lot over the last little while. Yeah, but
Denise, we'll get back on this one.
Yeah, I will. Let's connect.
Okay. Let's see, what's the next question? Mel, aside from your own, is there a specific brand design or strategy out in the world that's your favorite? Like one that you'd wish you'd done, I guess.
Yeah, there are. You know what? There's always the big ones like Apple, but that's like the knee-jerk reaction. Like everybody wants to be Apple, right? They really did it right, and they, from your storefront to, what you're seeing online, everything. I do like, what BMW has done. I think everybody's out in the mix of, like, I would have loved to have worked on Jaguar, but I don't think that would be the same solution that that we would have come up with.
Yeah, that's talk of the town, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few. There's a lot of agencies, locally, that I really admire and I've looked up to for a lot of time. So, like, looking at some of their stuff, I really admire the work that they've done, and it's sort of like, yeah, I wish I did that.
Okay, let's see. Is there? Wow, you've got a lot of questions lined up here. Let's see what the next one is. If you could wake up tomorrow and instantly be amazing at something, like total mastery, what would you pick?
I don't know. Like cooking, I think.
Oh.
I really enjoy our weekends where we just spend the afternoon in the kitchen cooking and making things. Like, I really enjoy that. Like, so, like, if I was gonna, like, flash right now, I'd love to be Andrew, what's his last name? Binging with Babish. I think he's fantastic. And to see where he's come from, like, from years ago to where he is today, I'm like, so that's, I wish I did that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have, what dish is your, like, signature dish? Do you have one?
Mine, I do a really good roast lamb. It's my spin on an old Gordon Ramsay recipe, and I make a really good Chicago style deep dish pizza. So says me, but so says my kids and everybody who says it. But I like start from scratch, and work my way up, like, from, like, handmade dough, handmade sauce, everything. And we use an old deep dish pizza skillet that my wife's grandmother had so that's what we use.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm being told that we are out of time. We definitely have questions left over. So if you wouldn't mind, we'll get them to you after the fact
Yeah.
and make sure that these nice people get answers. But thank you so much for doing this. It was really nice to let the world get to know you a little bit as a juror. And again, we really just appreciate everything that
No, thank you.
you do for us.
Thank you. It's been my honor and pleasure. So
Can you just remind me of your company URL so that people can check you out?
yeah, so we're Bang Creative. Our company URL is creativitygoesbang.com or bangcreative.ca, but we like the creativitygoesbang.com because it's a riff on an old Calvin and Hobbes book. But I can
Nice.
explain more of that later.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, Lauren.
Bye,
Enjoy.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.